Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of At the Table. I am your host, Kelly Lincoln, and today I am coming to you live from the open air dining area, public space over at Shake Shack, which is on 86th Street, East 86th, here in Manhattan, New York. It's a cloudy day here. It's been raining. We're expecting some high winds, so I hope you will bear with me. Should you hear some noises whistling through my lavalier mic. On today's show, I want to talk a bit about the late Lina Wertmüller, who passed away at the age of 92. She was an Italian iconic filmmaker, best known for the original Swept Away, Seven Beauties, and holding the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest movie title in history. And since I'm coming to you live and from my iPhone, I cannot get you the title of that, but just go and search her IMDb, and that's one of the trivias you will come across regarding her. Wertmüller was also the first female to be nominated in the Best Director category, and she was also nominated for 2 more Academy Awards that year: Best Foreign Film and Screenplay. And this is for Seven Beauties, and her male lead Giancarlo Giannini was nominated that same year for Best Actor. I had planned on doing this and as a Twitch stream, and perhaps when I get home from work I will still do the stream too, and play some of the memorial video regarding her passing. She's lying in state, as a matter of fact, in Rome, and all of the memorials to her are in Italian or German, and not English, because we're Americans, and if the person is not an American, we don't really give a shit when they pass. Excuse me while I open up what's going to pass for my lunch. If you've never seen any of her films, I highly recommend that you do. She's brilliant. She's one of those filmmakers who are immortal. And if the only version of Swept Away that you remember is the crappy one made by Guy Ritchie and Madonna, then you need to see the original. She's made some other very well-known films, and again, since I don't have her IMDb in front of me, I cannot well, here, I'm going to try something unusual. I'm going to see if I actually can pull up her IMDb. We shall see. Wertmüller. I love the IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database. It's absolutely. There we go. Just go right there. Okay, here we are. Amongst her other films, she wrote. Where are we here? Got the app, but I'm just being annoying here. So much fun. Boy, they're not being very helpful here on their filmography. Here we are. She directed Too Much Romance, It's Time for Stuffed Peppers, Ferdinando y Carolina, Blue Collar Worker, and The Hairdresser in a World of Sex and Politics. Ciao, Professore. Up to date. You need to, Camorra, A Story of Streets, Women and Crime, 1985. Just need to check out her movies. Love and Anarchy, The Seduction of Mimi, Don't Sting the Mosquito. She's just an amazing, brilliant woman, and she is sorely missed, even now. Wertmüller opened the door for all the women who came after her as directors and screenwriters, producers. And we women in the film industry owe her a debt of gratitude for that. And again, you really need to check out her movies. YouTube has some good clips about her being honored. We won the Film Academies here in America. Just a great talent who shall be sorely, sorely missed. Moving on to the kooks of the week. First, we had people eating arsenic and lead-laden peat in the hopes that it would prevent and cure their COVID-19. Meanwhile, they're getting, like every other quack cure, they're poisoning themselves. So I'm kind of wondering with these people how much physiological damage they have done to themselves between overdosing on ivermectin, drinking bleach, eating dirt. And now we are on to the next big thing is that rumor going around that Listerine mouthwash gargle will kill the COVID virus. No, not really. Again, they see it on a teeny tiny study. Forgive all the crackling. I'm going to The Stead Air is being brought to you by opening a bag of Triscuits. And the little smokies that I bought are like really, really salty. So now I have crackers and sausage. Good thing. And again, we're going on with these individuals, people who rather than just going for the vaccine, they're opting for poisons. And these are the same people that will also, and they claim that, but the mRNA, but the Pfizer and the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are experimental and they haven't been fully approved by the FDA. I'll just do monoclonal antibodies. Well, the monoclonal antibodies have not been fully approved by the FDA either, so they're emergency use and therefore still experimental. But you'd rather put yourselves in the position of a multi-use lab rat and poison yourself. What can I say? I also get the feeling if somebody told you sticking a fork in a light socket would cure it, you would do that as well. I can't say it no longer surprises or shocks me, because we have finally discovered that these individuals that are exhibiting adult obstinate defiance disorder really, boss of, you're not the boss of me disorder, really are, have reverted back to toddlerhood. They're obstinate 2-year-olds. You can't tell me what to do now. Remember seeing, when you see small kids and they're just learning words, like, at one point their favorite word becomes no. It's usually around 2 years old. And then they're, I was described as a kid as being obstinate, but I grew out of it. I'm still obstinate, but I'm not I will not, say you're not the boss of me unless you're really not the boss of me. And I'm just amazed, not surprised, but amazed. And then, if you want to see more of the toddler herd, just go up on Telegram and, Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood and all of these individuals. They're all doing You're Not the Boss of Me. Speaking of You're Not the Boss of Me, the goofs who are doing the Missouri recount in Minnesota just, came to the conclusion that, no, there was no voter fraud, and that's not going to make Trumpelstiltskin happy. We've got this whole group of people, very small but very vocal, like most indignant, very, very tired but don't want to go to sleep because they're afraid they're going to miss something. Toddlers shrieking and crying and, intimidating people, and we who are rational, be we Republican, Independent, Democratic Socialist, Green, Progressive, Liberal, Democrats, if we are rational, we need to push back and fight back. They won't need, if the GOP manages to take control of state legislatures, which a lot of them, which they already have control of, and basically, rig the state electorates, then, overthrowing the government by, invading the federal capital in Washington, D.C. will not matter. Because once local control has been seized, federal doesn't matter. So we need to stop being keyboard warriors and get outside, get as vocal and as pushed back, and as, none of this, I'm a newer, I grew up and did some new age shit, hippy dippy stuff. No, we have to fight back, push back, The time for being nice and taking a mayo spreader to a steak dinner is over. You and me who are listening to this, we need to echo the messages of Maddow and Lawrence and our progressive pundits. We need to use the same tactics that the right does. Although when we post a YouTube video, we need to actually have sources. We need to speak in plain language so people don't feel like they're being talked down to, which is an issue for a lot of people on the right. We tend to speak as though everybody has at least a sophomore year of high school, when most people's language have, seriously, this is why the GOP is so popular. They understand that most people, 5th grade education. That's why you see a lot of grammatical errors, like there, you're, and all that. There's a functional illiteracy. They understand that they have to speak in simple, plain terms. Otherwise, speaking in more in their minds, complicated, elite terms. And this is how they're dividing us, but how we approach and talk about a subject. We have to start creating our own citizens network. And I don't give a shit about the people who said we don't need crackpots like they've got on the right. No, we don't need crackpots. We just need people that will echo what our spokespeople say. We need to reframe what the right wing says. put it in plain terms, because this is what they're actually saying. And drop cliches like, oh, they spoke the quiet part out loud. People understand. They don't need to have that pointed out to them. They understand it perfectly. So, you know, we have to take back the airways. We have to fight for them. We need to pressure the left-wing billionaires who are so fucking tight with their money that they won't even fund a left-wing democratic progressive radio station. Where are they? Why have they ceded everything to the right wing? To the Murdochs and the Sinclairs and the Adelsons. Why have they done that? Good questions, Kelly. Why have they done that? I have no fucking idea. So it's all a matter of how you approach it. And again, my apologies. If the air goes dead for a while, I'm chewing. Or taking a crunch out of a Triscuit. And you're listening to the late night morning... Oh, not the late night morning talk show. That's not on until midnight tonight. But instead, you are listening to At the Table, the 523 Happy Hour with Kelly Lincoln here on netrootsradio.com and syndicated to your favorite podcatcher. Yay! So where was I? Yes, I was pontificating about never swallow and inhale at the same time. Oh.
You don't get scared when I do that. Ever.
There, that's better. So, I'm going to try and import some files here.
Well, I do it from like another point of view. So basically, then I go outside. And
That's not working because it only lets me go from Apple Music. Let's see what you got here for effects. Oh, hello. I'll go back to the playlist. So, again, we take a brief break here, going away from the Poops of the Week. Sorry about the... Okay, so got siren going by as if you couldn't tell. And this is the joy of recording outside in the open air. You are at the mercy of every sound that comes by. And folks just got up from the table next to me. And as typical in New York, oh, somebody else will clean up after us. So, and they just left their ketchup and plasticware on the table. And So I want to take this time to send my deepest condolences to everyone who lost family and friends, co-workers, in the destruction that was leveled by the tornadoes that swept through the Midwest overnight. It's really all that can be said about it. Some people have said that the tornadoes were unseasonable. Others have said, well, they can happen at any time, which is true. But still having tornadoes rip through the Midwest and parts of the South a week or so before Christmas is really, as far as I am aware, unheard of. I don't recall in my 60 some odd years hearing about this. So that's about all I can say about it. It's truly horrific, the loss of life, the injuries. I mean, even one death is one death too many in a situation like this. And just like one death and just one person dying in a natural disaster or in any act, in any manner that is not a natural way is a tragedy. So may their memories be a blessing to all who mourn. Moving on to the Georgia election worker who volunteered for that position, and the intimidation factor that came down on top of her thanks to the former guy, and what he was doing by naming her repeatedly is known as stochastic terrorism, simply because she did receive death threats, threats of violence against her and her family. And then came the Trevian Cuddy, who apparently is Kanye West's publicist, who showed up on her doorstep to intimidate her and threaten her with jail if she did not lie about her role in the Georgia election. The woman was smart enough to call 911 when this person and her male associate arrived. She asked for a police officer to show up before she stepped outside. They asked her if they could talk to her, and she said yes, but at the police station. And so the police officer there in the precinct with his body cam on was able to record the session, and so we have the intimidation there on record. So what does this portend for Kanye? Has he been taken advantage of by the right-wingers because of his mental illness? Or did he set this person out on them? Who sent her to this woman's doorstep? That is something we need to know. And she does have a Twitter account. Her original account got suspended. I have no idea why, but I can take a guess. And she has a new account. She is definitely a red-pilled Trump supporter. And if you don't know what I mean, getting pilled is how bringing somebody over to the QAnon conspiracy theory, plural, is called. Taken from the matrix, where they're not aware that the red pill represents the hormones that a trans woman takes as she transitions. And they don't really understand that the matrix is about transitioning and transgenderism. I thought I'd bring that one up. So it's all... And to think that the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Shea created the grand unified conspiracy theory where all conspiracies tie back into one grand conspiracy called the Illuminatus, which was founded by Adam Weishaupt in 1776. Curiously, the same year that America was declared independent. Ta-da! There's a lot of excellent resources for understanding the concepts behind the grand conspiracy theories and how it's now splintering into little subgroups and cults. The most prevalent cult is the cult of Democrat JFK and JFK Jr. joining the MAGA of Donald Trump. Go figure that one out. Excuse me while I chew again. Well, at least auto ducking is on. I know this is short, very short. I'll try and finish it up a little later. Anyway, take care, have a good day, and stay tuned for whatever comes up next.